Hi and welcome to Sweet Sensations. This is video 3 now. We're going to do a dessert today because that's the main progression from your main meal. And we're going to do, I chose this because of the name, Folkestone pudding pies. So the ingredients we have are 1 pint of milk, 3 ounces of ground rice. So I've got rice flour from the supermarket. We have 3 ounces of butter, a pound of sugar, the flavouring of a lemon peel or bay leaf. So I've got both here, so I'm just going to choose while I'm doing it. And we have 6 eggs and our trusty chicken here, and puff pastry and currants, which I also got in a big bag because I tend to use a lot from the supermarket. So first off, we're going to infuse either choosing our bay leaves or our lemon to infuse the milk before we use it. Okay, so I've got my traditional measuring cup here, and as you can see from the inside, there we have, beside the English cups, is the pint measurements. So we need 1 pint of milk. So I'm going to add that now. That's 1/2. 1 pint. So I've chosen the bay leaves. We're going to pop those into the milk and wait until it is well infused, and then strain it and add the rice flour. Okay, that milk's been sitting for about half an hour, so we're going to strain it into the saucepan. And add the rice flour. Now we need 3 ounces of ground rice. I'm using my trusty old salter scale that I got at the local op shop, and we're just going to add the rice flour until we can read 3 ounces. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, we're going to add it to the saucepan with the infused milk and set it on the fire, which is our stovetop. And we're going to stir it constantly so that it doesn't go lumpy. And we're going to stir that constantly for a quarter of an hour. Okay, just turning my stovetop on. We'll put it on, my stovetop's a bit vicious, so we'll put it on to about 6. And give it a wee stir to start with. And that's just going to have to boil away once it reaches the boil for a quarter of an hour. Okay, here we have our rice flour and milk thickening up nicely on the stovetop. And I had a little look up while I was doing this of why would we be using rice flour. Rice flour is gluten-free, so that's great for all you gluten-free people. And also it is said to make a light, subtle custard when you use it. So it's nice and delicate for this kind of dish. Right, we've taken it off the stovetop, and now we're going to add the butter, sugar and the eggs. So we've got our butter all measured out in my salter scale here. So I'm gonna cut that up a little bit to melt into the milk nicely. Give it a stir. The heat of the milk will melt the butter. Okay, for the sugar, we've got a bit of a tricky one. We've got to go in between the first and the second mark for 1/2 pound of sugar. Bear with me. It's not a lot. as you can see, and we're going to add that into our milk mixture also. Right, we'll stir that in, and we have 6 eggs that need to go in, but it says that the latter have to be well beaten first. So we might put the 6 eggs into a separate bowl and beat it before putting it into the mixture. We don't want scrambled eggs in our custard. Right, bear with me while I crack 6 eggs into this bowl. Right, we've got our electric beater here, and we're going to, this might be a bit noisy, we're going to make it nice and fluffy. Righto, that's looking good. Should we add that in now? Ooh, I may need to have chosen a bigger pot. Okay, when this is all mixed in, we will need to wait for it to get cool. So when nearly cold, it says, line some patty pans with puff pastry. Okay, we have some sheets of puff pastry here, which we bought from the supermarket just to make it a little bit easier. So we're going to cut them into little circles to fill our patty pans. Just giving you a close-up look on this delicious fluffy custard. Yum! Okay, not wanting to be too greedy, I've gone for a smaller patty tin, and we're just going to have a look through the gigantic box of cookie cutters for something that is about the right size to cut out the pastry. So this one looks about right to be my cutter, and it's got a nice fluted edge on it, which will be quite pretty. And here's our custard cooling over here in the corner. We might just spray oil the tin so that it makes the pudding pies easier to remove. Of course you can use butter and grease the tins, but this is just a little bit quicker. And if you really worry about not being able to remove them, you can also flour them. So just put a little bit of flour in each hole and make sure it's well coated and stuck to the oil. Right, let's start to cut out. Is it gonna fit? We could end up having enough for more than one tin. There's quite a bit of custard there. Always a good thing. I'm not pressing down too firmly because I'd like them, once again, to be easy to remove and look pretty on the plate. Right, 3 more. Okay, they're all filled. Let me have a look and see if it tells me a temperature to put on. No, it just says to bake from 20 to 25 minutes in a moderate oven. So I call a moderate oven about 180 degrees Celsius these days. So we're going to fill them with custard and sprinkle over currants on each one. We might be able to do 2 because we've got plenty of pastry left here. Right, as mentioned earlier, we've got our oven on 180 degrees Celsius, and then I'll put them in. Looking gorgeous. We're going to wait 20 to 25 minutes and see how they are. Yay, time is up, and then we're going to take these beauties out of the oven. Here we go. So we've got like a baked custard in a pastry case with currants. They're smelling delicious and looking all golden brown. I would say that it does say in the recipe that it fills a dozen patty pans, and we've still got this much custard left over, so I'm wondering if they are about twice the size of the ones that I have. But never mind, we'll feed lots of people. Hi everyone, so I'm all finished cooking and I'm sitting down to my Folkestone pudding pie and a cup of tea, counting myself very lucky. I'll just turn the camera around so you can see what it looks like. There we are, and we have the end result of the Folkestone pudding pie. We have about 4 dozen from that. It says in the book that the time taken is 20 to 25 minutes to cook. Average cost is 1 shilling and 6 dimes, and it's sufficient to fill a dozen patty pans. So a dozen large ones, I think. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that and looking forward to doing the next bake for you. Please come back again and see us soon.